You know, if you spend any time on social media, you have definitely seen K18 Hair. That super clean, vibrant look is pretty much everywhere. But what if I told you that when K18 first launched, none of their products actually existed yet? Seriously, this is the story of how a brand created an incredible visual identity for a product you couldn't even hold, all thanks to a really cool partnership between K18 in San Francisco and a CGI studio called Welpix all the way over in Slovakia. And this is what you see today. It's just striking, right? So simple, modern, with those brand colors that just pop right off the screen. It's an aesthetic that really cuts through all the noise online. But the real story is how they pulled this off years ago, and how that one initial project just grew and grew. So just how much has it grown? Well, that very first project has since turned into around 50. Yeah, 50. This isn't just some one-off gig. We're talking about a long-term relationship built on delivering exactly what the brand needs, time and time again.
And this has been going on for 5 years now. A team in San Francisco working seamlessly with a CGI studio in Slovakia. So how does a collaboration like this, spanning half the globe, even get off the ground? Well, it all started with a classic high-stakes marketing problem.
Okay, so let's rewind the clock to the very beginning. K18 was this exciting new brand, ready to launch, but they hit a major snag, a problem that a ton of startups face. This was the big dilemma, right? You absolutely need photos and videos to launch your website, to get your social media buzzing. But how in the world are you supposed to shoot a product when the factory's still in the process of making it? You can't exactly photograph something you can't hold. The stakes here were incredibly high. I mean, they needed a complete set of marketing assets to go live, but the actual physical products were still just a plan. The entire launch was riding on solving this one problem. And the solution? Well, it came from the digital world. And this is where computer-generated imagery, or CGI, totally saves the day. See, the solution wasn't to wait for the physical products. It was to build them in the digital world first, creating a perfect replica before the real thing even rolled off the production line. So, where do you even begin with something like this? It all starts with the creative brief. K18 put together inspiration images, their specific brand color codes, and a really clear vision for what they wanted. This is the bedrock of the whole project, making sure everyone is on the exact same page from day one. Now, armed with that brief, the Welpix team got to work, and this is where their experience really shines. You give them those solid designs and clear reference images, and they can build stunningly photorealistic 3D models. Every single curve, the label, the texture, it's all recreated with perfect accuracy, long before a physical product even exists. And this brings us to this really key concept, the digital twin. So what is that? Just think of it like a perfect virtual copy of the physical product. Once you have this digital twin, you can do literally anything with it. Photograph it from any angle, drop it into any scene you can imagine, and even make it move. Okay, so with these perfect digital twins created, the next phase was all about creativity. It was time to stage the virtual photo shoot and bring K18's brand vision to life. And you can see the process right here. It's so cool. On the left, that's a reference image straight from K18's creative brief. And on the right, that's the final CGI composition. It's a direct, perfect translation of the client's vision, all executed in a completely virtual environment. And throughout the whole project, the creative direction was guided by K18's core principles. The goal wasn't to overcomplicate anything. It was all about creating clean, simple, super eye-catching visuals that stayed absolutely true to the brand's identity and its unique color palette. But you know, the real power of a digital twin is just how versatile it is. You're not just creating a single photo. You're building a digital asset that can be used for an entire campaign, from your basic product shots to dynamic, scroll-stopping animations. This lets you create two totally different types of visuals. On one hand, you have what we call catalog images, you know, the clean, simple shots for an e-commerce store. But on the other hand, you get these awesome hero images, the stylized, really creative shots that are designed to grab attention on social media or be the main image on your website. And taking these scenes and putting them into motion, that's the next logical step. Once the digital twin is built and the scene is all set up, adding animation is actually pretty straightforward. You can make the product move, you can have the camera sweep around it, add cool effects like a spray mist, all within that same digital world. So what was the final verdict from that very first project? A very, very happy client. This testimonial from K18 Hair really says it all. The process was smooth, and they got exactly what they were looking for. It was that initial success that really laid the foundation for the long-term partnership we still see today. So what are the big takeaways here? Well, this story shows that CGI can solve huge pre-production challenges, letting you market a product before it even physically exists. It gives brands total creative control, which means you get perfect consistency across every single photo and video. And, it just proves that with the right tools and a shared vision, world-class creative work can happen between teams on completely opposite sides of the globe. And that kind of leaves us with one final thought. K18 and Welpix used this tech to solve a launch problem, but the potential here is so much bigger. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What marketing challenges could you solve? And what amazing creative ideas could you bring to life if your products could exist in perfect digital form before they ever roll off an assembly line?